Die! Die! Why won't you die? Why won't you die?
In this town on Valentine's Day, everybody loses their heart.
It looks like Harry Warden's back in town.
In the town of Valentine Bluffs, there are many ways to die. Take your pick. My Bloody Valentine.
What's going on, guys? We are back with another episode. Why Won't You Die? A horror podcast. This time for My Bloody Valentine. So happy Valentine's to everyone. 2023. It's February 14th. Q. And man, what does that mean? We got some slasher Valentine horror movies, man.
Yeah. We got to get into it. You know what I'm saying? I was thinking about that. You know, it's a couple of, Valentine's Day horror movies, but I'm excited to talk about My Bloody Valentine because I haven't seen it in a while. I forgot. I forgot this movie. So yeah, I'm definitely, excited. Happy Valentine to all the lovers out there and all the lovers of slashers out there. I should say.
Yeah, and that's one thing too. I was going to ask you. You don't really have to be, in a relationship to enjoy these movies because once again, like they are good slasher movies. And like you said, there's a lot of them out there, but I wanted to start with the OG. I know this one really, maybe did this one set it off, you think? Because I was kind of going back into like mask slasher movies. And of course you have, I think Texas Chainsaw probably set it off in the early 70s with the masking thing. And then you had, The Town That Dreaded Sundown. You got Friday the 13th. Well, I wouldn't even throw Friday the 13th in there because, Halloween. But the original Friday the 13th wasn't even, spoiler if you guys haven't seen it, but that's, no Jason in there. But there was a couple, even like Prom Night, there was a mass killer, right, in that one?
Yeah.
Did Terror Train come out before this one? Because this is 81. I
don't know. It's about almost around the same time, right? Terror Train is 80, 81. Yeah.
So around that time you had mass slasher movies, right? But you didn't have anybody that was really throwing a Valentine twist on it that I can remember. And this mask, we'll get into it. But this is one of the creepier ones, at least for me, because like you had said, it's been a minute since I had seen this one. I forgot the whole third act of the movie, if I'm being honest. Yeah. But I remember the intro. Yeah, the intro and some of the characters along the way. But I wanted to ask you before we get into it: do you and your wife celebrate Valentine's Day? Is that like really like a celebrated holiday for you guys, or do you guys just another day?
Well, I proposed to my wife on the day before Valentine's Day. So this Tuesday, I'm probably just going to go out to dinner or something like that. And, Valentine's Day, I always try to, make sure she gets something special because she likes to get something special. So this year I bought her scissor tickets, I seen you react to scissor. Scissor.
What is it? Oh, scissor. I thought you said scissor.
Yeah, scissor.
I was like, what does that mean? What is that, something like lingo I don't know about?
Another type of that's another type of Valentine's Day,
Scissor. You got her scissor tickets? That's cool, man.
Yeah, dude. They were expensive too.
Oh, I believe it.
I think I got 2 tickets. Her and my son gonna go because I like her music, but I'm not a huge fan of her.
Okay.
But they were like $500 for 2 tickets. Bro.
I believe it. She's really getting up on that caliber, man. I mean, not Taylor Swift, Rihanna numbers yet, but it's only a matter of time before she gets there. And all the stuff that I've been reacting to on the channel has been really good. And I don't really get into R&B too much. I know people are like, well, she does everything. Yes, she does. I know. I understand. But primarily what I've been listening to is a lot of R&B, and she has a great voice, great look, great sound. Love the visuals of the music videos. So that's awesome gift, cool. Man. Yeah,
me and you same. I'm not a big proponent or fan of R&B, but she listens to it all the time. She's very soulful. She sings, but I'll be on that. I'll be on that killer gangster music most of the time. When I get in the shower. Like 21 Savage.
Right, yeah. Like let me get a 21 Savage on a scissor track, and I might listen to it. There you go.
This lover came with a compressor. Yeah,
for sure, man. Well, thank you so much, Q, for joining me for another episode. Kind of like an impromptu, because I think last week we were talking about, like Valentine's Day is coming up. Let's do a quick, episode recap on one of the, the OGs. So 1981, My Bloody Valentine. I wanted to let you guys know, I think Q don't even know this yet. I was able to get our podcast now up on Apple Podcast, on Amazon Music, and we're also on Stitcher now. So it's kind of like, we're getting it out there. We also have, of course, Spotify and Anchor. So you guys listen where you can. And if there's a review section, please let us know an honest review what you think about these episodes. 5-star if you guys can. And if you guys are watching on YouTube, make sure to hit that big thumbs up. Consider subscribing today for more, because we're doing weekly, even a couple a week. We're dropping them, man. So
yeah, congratulations on that, man.
Oh, yeah. No, congratulations to us, man. This is our podcast. Why won't you?
Oh, yeah, I'm here too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's not forget the Four Loco and the Natty Ice talk last week.
Dog, I was dying of
it. Hey, people hit me up, man, and they were like, hey, I really like you guys' conversations before the actual breakdown of the movie, because, it's hella relatable, And I'm like, oh, yeah. Those some good throwback moments right there, man. So,
hell yeah.
Yeah, let's get into our first bit of news, though, before we get into My Bloody Valentine from 1981. So there is information, if you can believe this or not, and you let me know if you're a fan of this franchise. The Riddick franchise with Vin Diesel. Remember that? Chronicles of Riddick?
Riddick.
Okay. So they're looking to do a 4th installment. Now, it makes sense because Fast and the Furious is coming to an end. So Vin Diesel, this is his franchise. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if they do another damn XXX movie, because that's kind of like his bread and butter is these established IPs, right? And once again, if no more Fast and the Furious, he's got to go back to the OG stuff, which is fine for me. I remember seeing the first Riddick. I don't think I saw this. I didn't even know there was 3, so I didn't see the other 2. Did you see
I didn't know it was 3 either. I remember 2. Yeah, I don't remember 3. I didn't know it was a 3. I thought it was only 2, but yeah, I was wrong. I never, the first one was pretty good, though. It was like a little sci-fi horror movie. I love that one. He was badass in that one.
Definitely. So they just announced right now, recently, a couple of days ago, Riddick Furia. It's called Furya, Furia. 4th franchise installment finally happening. So it says David Twally is back to direct, and he also wrote the script. Diesel will star and produce under his One Race Films, so he's going to be behind the camera as well. Banner alongside Samantha Vincent, who will also produce. In the new film, Riddick finally returns to his home world, a place he barely remembers and one he fears he might be left in ruins by the necromongers. But this is lore. Like, I got to go back and watch these movies because I totally forgot what they were even about, man. I just remember it was a crazy planet he was on and there was creatures and stuff. But it says, but there he finds other Furians fighting for their existence against a new enemy. And some of these Furians are more like Riddick than he could have ever imagined. See, that's kind of cool because now there's more than just him. Because we Pitch Black. That's the one that I might have seen too.
Yeah,
I think
Pitch
that was
Black. Yeah, that's what's called Pitch Black. Yeah.
Yeah. And from what I remember is that he could see at night, right? I don't know if it was infrared or if it was like, Yep,
it was like infrared. He could see in the dark. It was Pitch Black, and I guess he had 2 other spin-off movies. Now I remember, and he had a dope video game too on the Xbox. It was pretty good.
Oh, really?
Pretty amazing. Yeah, back in I think it was the first generation Xbox. It was kind of ahead of its time. It was really well done.
Okay, I'll have to check that out. Maybe I'll throw up a cover or whatever on the Xbox, the OG Xbox. But I'm interested. I mean, I might want to go back and watch the 3rd one just to see how it kind of clicks or whatever. But it says David Twahies, hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly, 2000 film Pitch Black was our introduction to Vin Diesel as an action star, and the actor, of course, went on to reprise the role of monster killer Richard B. Riddick in 2004's The Chronicles of Riddick. See, I thought the first one was called The Chronicles of Riddick, but I guess the first one is Pitch Black. The second one is The Chronicles of Riddick in 2004. So there's a 4-year gap. And most recently, 2013's Riddick, just called Riddick. Yeah. And there was talks of a 4th film way back in 2014 when Universal reportedly interested in making another film at the time. So almost 10 years ago, they were in talks to make this. Damn. That seems like a passion project. I mean, if the director and scriptwriter is still back, still interested in doing this. But I mean, Riddick, what do you think of this character? Like, is this something you want to see a continuation of for Vin?
I'll watch it. I'll definitely watch it. I think he was a dope character in Pitch Black. Like the sequels, I just can't remember anything about them. I remember them being very average at best. So I don't remember anything about it. If they got one more round, I'll see Riddick. I mean, it could be even more off that. I do like the synopsis of this of he going to his own planet and he found more people like him to fight off a bigger threat. I mean that's
kind of cool.
Riddick's a cool character, yeah. And I'm just not tired of seeing him playing Toretto all the time, but yeah. I want him to see Vin Diesel do a little something, in the same wheelhouse, but because we've been watching Fast and Furious for the last 6-7 years, him playing this character. He hasn't really been in anything else I can remember, like since the Triple X days. So yeah, I'll go back to Riddick. I think it's a smart move for his career.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. And then I wouldn't be mad at another Triple X movie, because I know those movies. They brought in Ice Cube and whatnot. I never saw the sequel. Yeah, man, you remember that one? And I actually saw that in theaters, man. I was like, you remember the scene when he breaking out of jail and he like jumps off the roof and he just like, he like grabs on to the helicopter, and I'm like, this is Ice Cube we're talking about.
Yeah, Ice Cube.
But he got
Doughboy.
Doughboy, yeah. He got kind of big though. His arms got kind of big in that movie.
Yeah.
From what I remember, but he's still real stocky. But it's that Ice Cube plays Ice Cube, man. It's not like you can really change shit with him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's the same guy in every movie and shit. So the angry dude. Riddick makes sense, but I don't remember anything about that movie either. I mean, it was kind of forgettable. I just don't remember anything about it. And then they made the third one, right, with Vin Diesel.
Vin Diesel did come back, and I heard that was like even worse. So if he were to come back, I think at this point, I'm not saying reboot the franchise, but start off with more, like, don't tie in any of the old movies. Just do a new mission. I mean, you're just here to have fun with these movies. They're kind of like those Transporter movies with Jason Statham. Like, they're not really good. Like, it's just another mission at hand type of deal. But
yeah, absolutely.
That's kind of the information with that. So next up, we have filming for Saw 10. Talk about another sequel, man. Saw 10. 10 fucking movies in the Saw franchise. Are you a fan, first off, of the Saw franchise?
Yeah, the first couple I thought were brilliant, especially the first one. I think is an all-time classic. You know what I'm saying? That ending, I didn't. That's one of the endings I really didn't see coming. I was kind of shocked in the theater. You know what I'm saying? The second one and the third one I remember, and I kind of forget during the lines. I kind of fell off of the Saw franchise. They just kept getting super repetitive, and I kind of lost interest in them. But I didn't see the one with Chris Rock in it.
That was the more recent one. What was that? What was that called again? I forgot what that one was called. Spiral. Spiral. I believe it was Spiral. Yeah, let me double check. We actually saw that in theaters with my buddy. Yeah, okay, Spiral. Yeah, 2021. I will say, at the time, I think the impact of it and the ending, once again, everyone was like, this is the best one since the original. Looking back at it, I don't think it is, but it's just one of those in the moment things. It's definitely above average. Like, I'll probably go back and give it a 3.5 out of 5.
Okay.
One, because Chris Rock is great as a detective. I thought he was great. A lot of people didn't like his acting and stuff like that. He seemed like someone that was definitely, like, I'm too old for this shit.
Glover.
Danny Glover Riggs. Character, yeah. He was definitely like a Riggs, Riggs mode. And I appreciated that. But, he's thrown into this whole Jigsaw killer thing. And the twist ending at the end of the film was, to me, pretty good. Was pretty brutal, too. And it keeps on all the cylinders of, like, the gore of the original. Now, was it paced perfectly like the original with, what was it, Lee Wanal, I believe, that did that? He's also the actor in the movie with that crazy ending. See, I still go back and watch reactors that have never seen Saw, watch Saw for the first time, and their reaction to that, no one expected him to get off the ground, if you guys haven't seen it, but no one expected Tobin Bell to just, game over and rip off the skull cap or whatever, and then and he slams the door. No one expected that shit, dude.
It was genius.
Yeah, it was genius.
A genius scene, because I didn't see it coming. I was like, he was there the whole damn movie. I was like,
Yeah, so we are back for Saw. I gotta say, Saw 2 is actually a very good one, because they took the concept of Saw and just added more people. That's all you got to do. Like, you don't really have to. Now, when it started down the line, Saw 3, Saw 4, that's when you started getting all these copycat killers and people help. That's kind of when I think people started tuning out because, once again, another spoiler alert, Tobin Bell, I think, dies like in the 4th or 5th one.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
He has like some kind of, that's the whole point is that he's dying, right? And that's why he's kind of seeking revenge. But he ultimately dies in one of them. And then it becomes a copycat killer, which is kind of cool. But it's something about Tobin Bell is what makes Saw movies. And I think that's why they keep bringing him back in these flashbacks. And it's like, that's how you're going to sell these movies, is having cool flashbacks with Tobin Bell. And then, of course, the cool Saw kills, right? That's what people want to see, the Saw kills, man.
Yeah. That's what it's all about. The torture porn, that was a term that was invented from Saw and like the Hostels with Eli Roth. Yeah. I want to see the cool, crazy traps. So, like, some of them did make my skin crawl, like the needle thing, and I think in 2, and
when the girl falls in the when the girl falls in the needle pit.
Yeah, dude. That was like,
she's like digging for him. Ooh.
Yeah. Buddy, fuck that.
That was pretty bad. Yeah, there's a lot of them that are classic. I think the original reverse bear trap is probably the most sinister. Like, there's a lot of sick ones. Ooh, you know what, the one that stands in my mind? I forget which one it was, but where the guy's like in the crucifix. Do you remember that one?
I don't know.
The guy has his arms like sprawled out and his legs kind of strapped down, and it starts rotating upside down, like, so it starts breaking his arm, breaking his legs, and then ultimately his head. That was the most painful one I've probably ever seen, dude.
That's nasty. Yeah, I remember that now. Yeah, it's bringing it all back. Yeah,
that was literally, his head went backwards. But I think that might have been the 5th or 6th one, man. But yeah, it got pretty insane, man. They also had Chester in there from Linkin Park in one of those. Rest in peace. I don't know if you remember that one.
No.
Oh, he's like one of the introduction scenes. It's like the famous introduction scenes to the Saw movies where all this shit's going haywire before the detectives kind of rush in and, oh my God, another jigsaw killer, type of shit. But you got to check that one out. That was a pretty epic scene. But so both Tobin Bell and Shawnee Smith are back for this year's Saw 10, currently scheduled to release October 27, 2023. So we're getting at the end of this year, man. And remember what it was? October. It's Saw month, and when it's October, some shit like that. There was a commercial. I'll play it or something before, but you always had that sinister.
They ran October.
You had that sinister voiceover guy. So the filming has now wrapped. Right, so franchise stalwart Kevin Grudert, who directed the highly regarded Saw 6 and Saw the Final Chapter, and edited Saw 1 through 5 and Jigsaw, is directing the project. So that's kind of cool that they're bringing in someone that's been part of the franchise, just random movies here and there and stuff from the Saw franchise. But now he's coming back to direct. I mean, we know editing and producing are two different demons, so he's now going to be directing. So let's see. So he said, I hope we can use the title Saw X because this chapter really gets back to the roots of what makes Saw so special to me and everyone else who loves John Kramer's saga. Now, what do you think that means? Getting back to the Saw roots. How do you do that when your main character is killed off? Are they going the prequel route, you think, or?
Good question. They could go the prequel route into the future. I think what they mean by getting back to the roots, maybe they will keep the story kind of small like it was. Maybe not a lot of people in this one again. Like, just a room and, and a couple traps. But I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. Well, because the traps are always been out off the chain, right? I didn't see like a lot of them. Like I think 3 when I started to fall off a little bit. So damn, they're at 10 now. So
10
I missed a lot of Saw.
Yeah, I think the only one I did not see was the one right before Spiral, which was just entitled Jigsaw. I just was not interested, and I didn't really know if it was going to tie into the other movies or a complete reboot. I really didn't know. I just didn't want to see it. And either way, I mean, I'm excited for this one because these are exciting movies. Yeah, it looks like they're marketing as Saw X. So I'm interested in these movies, in the kills once again. And if Tobin Bell's back, which it looks like he is, because I did see pictures on Twitter like months ago about them like filming the production or whatever. That's what. Yeah, that's what makes those movies special, man. Is Tobin Bell. So
he's dope. Yeah,
I'm with
Scary looking.
Yeah, he's a creepy old man, huh? It's funny. A couple months ago, I watched for the channel Mississippi Burning, and he's in that movie.
Oh wow, yeah, that's the old racist classic.
Oh yeah,
Mississippi Burning, yeah, woo.
yeah.
That's one of those movies.
He played the gangster in that movie too. He's not a racist one. He's actually going after the Klan.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I haven't seen Mississippi Burning in so long.
Yeah, so he's our anti-hero character where he's over there just whooping some Klan ass. But
oh, cool. All right.
I'm with it too. But My Bloody Valentine, my friend, because that's all the bit of news that we have. My Bloody Valentine is a 1981 Canadian slasher movie. Did you know this? I didn't know it was Canadian.
No, I didn't know that. I didn't know it was Canadian. No, not at all.
Yeah, shouts out to our people to the north, man, because I swear I got a buddy, Brando Critic, man. Shots. I don't think he listens to this.
Oh yeah, I know Brando. Yeah,
Brando. So he's up in Vancouver, and this guy lets me know every single damn movie that was shot in Canada. They're proud. They're very proud. Yeah. You know,
yeah, I think there's a lot of production going on up there, like Marvel movies and all that type of stuff. Though.
The Last of Us is filmed in Alberta.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. Yeah. That's great. I can see it now too with all the trees and and such. Well, cool.
Yeah, see, I didn't know that either until people started leaving in my comment section. But yeah, shouts out to all the Flix Talkers. But yeah, it's a Canadian slasher film directed by George Mihalka and written by John Beaird. It stars Paul Kelman, Laurie Hallier, and Neil Affleck. The plot tells about a group of young adults who decide to throw a Valentine's Day party only to incur the vengeance wrath of a maniac in mining gear who begins a killing spree. So, like always, I'm going to ask you the first time you saw My Bloody Valentine from 1981. You remember that moment, my friend?
Yeah. You know what? It might have been today.
No,
it might have been today. I remember seeing this as a kid, but I didn't remember any of it because I remember the killer. You know what I'm saying? I remember the mask, and I've seen the remake because there's a remake of this one too. That's pretty good.
There is, yeah. I never saw the remake.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's it's probably one of the better horror remakes of all time, I would say.
Oh wow.
But I didn't remember the first one that well till today. I was like, oh, I forgot that happened. So. I remember watching My Bloody Valentine probably on VHS with some other movies. Like you used to put 3 on there, but like I don't remember going back repeatedly watching this movie. If that means anything. So I saw it like my memory was refreshed today. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So
okay, yeah. I think for me, I want to say it was pretty recent too. It was about 5 years ago, but it was one of those where I really wasn't paying attention. So, I kind of had it in the background, just had my phone on or whatever. And I definitely remember like the first half of this movie, and then the end, I kind of forgot a lot about what happened. So it was good rewatching it again. It's on HBO Max if you guys want to check it out this, Valentine season. I mean, it's not a Valentine movie other than, it tying in to Valentine's Day, but it is a slasher, movie. And I will say this, on the gore, there's 2 versions of this movie. I believe the HBO Max version is the rated R version, but there is an unrated version that only adds like 3 extra minutes. But of those couple of minutes extra, I believe they showed a little more gore, or like some of the shots, especially the one at the beginning, which we'll get into, of the girl getting impaled. They show a little more of that. Remember when he kind of they're having like a little sexy scene or whatever, and then he kind of slams it against that what is that, a little pitchfork or whatever? Not pitchfork. The hell they call? Why am I drawing a blank on what they use? The mining tool.
Oh yeah, pickaxe.
Pickaxe, man. Why am I drawing a blank? It's hard to keep take care of all these weapons in my brain, man. But I
remember seeing it. Like I watched this on Shudder's horror documentary called Into the Darkness, and they show a lot of the gorier kills in that documentary. So I was like, dang, yeah. You know what I'm saying? It was some of that shit was violent, son.
Oh yeah. So you could definitely tell that this was edited down a little bit, but for the most part, we got some pretty cool kills. I like it. A lot of off-screen kills as well. But I appreciate it, especially for being the early 80s. I feel like the early 80s did this a lot. They didn't show too much unless you were like a real like that movie Maniac or something, you know what I mean, with Tom Savini. So it's like, you know, shit like that was just off the walls, man. But yeah, that being said, let's just get directly into it, my friend. So this movie does start off, you know, credit scene and a title screen and whatnot. But we're getting like our little sexy scene with two people in the mining suits with the helmets and everything like that. And right off the bat, I was like, that's a woman in one of those for sure. And, you know, she just too slender of a body, just too like small of a frame. So she takes off her mask, you know, and then she starts to kind of seduce the other miner. And she's over there playing with the tube that comes down and stuff. It was very like, it is very like sexual and phallic and erotic and stuff. And I'm like, what is it? Like, you know, and then
music.
Yeah, the real good haunting music behind and stuff like that. So she has a tattoo they show, you know, right above her on her chest. I'll just say chesticles. And it's like a little heart tattoo. You know, someone drew it on with a damn magic marker. It didn't look like a real tattoo. And once he sees that, you remember, he's kind of started hyperventilating almost.
Yeah,
that was like a trigger. It was a trigger. So then he grabs her. After he put the pickaxe in the wall, he pickaxes the wall, right? So it's just hanging, it's just chilling there, and she decides to just stand in front of it. And he grabs her by the shoulders, slams her against, which I think is a great kill, because I think I had mentioned this before with you, that the Friday the 13th reboot, there's a scene, remember, where he throws the axe at that kid?
Yeah.
In the back, and then he picks up the kid, slams him on his back, and then it comes out the front. I like that when a weapon can go out your back and then pop out the front. There's something about that. Like it just seems like so brutal.
Yeah, brutal. Yeah, it almost reminded me of Sick a little bit when he puppeteered him out there with the with the spear through the back and then came out the front. Like what?
Even a little bit with Megan that we talked about recently, where she hit him with that paper shear or whatever through the back, and then it came out a little bit, just a little bit out the front.
Like, you hitting all those main arteries and good gummy bears inside you.
Yeah, so she's slamming to the pickaxe, and then we get our scream and then title card, My Bloody Valentine, right? So flash forward, because I believe that happened. Oh no, that's happening in real time. I mean, there's some flashback story to it along the way, but we get our band of, and this is really hard to believe that this many young people are working in a damn mine. When you think about mine, you think about old ass men.
Yeah. Old ass man who chain smoked 2 packs of cigarettes. You know what I'm saying? Going down there still breathing and shit. Yeah. Oh, men in their late 40s.
These guys look like they're in their early 20s. I'll be honest.
Right. Facts. It's like, damn.
Because they're still over there arguing about girls and stuff like that, and like just picking fights with each other, like they're in their early 20s. That's why I was like, these guys couldn't be portraying older men. I'll tell you that. Yeah.
They seem real immature. Like they did seem almost like teenagers, but they were sort of menish, you know.
Yeah. So we're introduced to these guys, and I thought it was funny that it shows them all like in a public shower or whatever, and they're over there like grab assing each other. Like the guys like walking through, and they're over there like, like, did you see that? They're like over there playing with you, like pushing each other, get the soap flying everywhere and shit. Like it's like that scene in Half Baked, man, when he drops the soap and he's like, wash your hands. Like he's over there trying to avoid the soap and shit, and you know everybody's looking. I was like, what is this, dude? Like
that's never brought up. We always bring up Nightmare on Elm Street too. We'll never bring up the shower scene and My Bloody Valentine. They're all muddy and you know what I'm saying, trying to get slavering up, playing with each other. I did notice that. Like this is weird. They made it
a little too, like, it didn't really, like, is this really happen in the mining community or what? We need some miner. If you're a miner out there, please let me know in the mining community. Have you ever seen 2 guys playing in the shower like this? But anyways, we're introduced to our our band of guys, band of misfits or whatever. They pretty much just drink and party the whole damn movie. They have sex with girls and get into trouble, basically, right?
Yeah, seems like the mining community is lit. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what miners do. They're drinking beer all day, having sex with young girls, and throwing parties.
A very small community, by the way. As these guys take off, they're like, "Hey, first one, last one to the bar pays for everybody, right? Pays everybody's round or whatever," which I thought was funny. It's like that classic, like, I don't know, TV sitcom banter or something. You know. Yeah. So they all race, you know, down to the to the local bar, which is so funny. Like, some of them, their cars stall out and shit, and they can't even. Oh, that's another thing. The big dude that was running out. They always poke fun at the big guy. He's running out, pulling up his pants, and some guy pantses him from behind. Did you see that?
Yeah.
I'm like, these guys are playing grab ass. They're trying to get to the bar. What is happening, bro?
Yeah. Slap ass. Yeah.
What is that methane gas doing to their brain? That's what I want to know, because that shit is wild.
Yeah. That shit is wild. I don't know what, you know.
Yeah. So they're headed to the bar. But they pass a sign. I forget what the sign is, man, for the town. Oh, it's called Valentine Bluff.
Yeah.
Of all names, right?
Yeah. That's a weird name, Valentine Bluff.
Yeah, and it says something to the effect of population 3,000. That's a small fucking town. Have you ever been through a town and it has a really small population, like under 10,000, and then you even think, like, how the fuck are these even communities? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Small when I was driving out west, out there by, you know, I was driving out your way to California to drop somebody off, and then like some of those towns in the mountains there, it just be like nobody. I literally remember riding through a literal ghost town, like it was like the Indiana Jones Crystal Skull, the radiation town. It was like nobody there, like literally tumbleweeds, you know, going across. But I have seen small towns like that. It's like, damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that too, because we do have a lot of desert towns out here in Southern California. The whole state is pretty much a desert. It's just that the edge is kind of like populated by a lot of people, you know, by the ocean. But if you go more inland, there's towns where people have never left, and you can tell that maybe people have tried to buy them out, and they're like, "Nah, we're living here forever." Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're not like they're the hills have eyes people, basically. You know, up in those mountains, and for whatever reason, they kept those towns really, really small, and nobody ever moves in. Not a lot of people move out sometimes.
So
it's kind of
terrifying.
It is. It is,
but like scary.
Yeah, smaller towns like this, you know, everyone knows. You know, everyone knows who's who, what's, you know, who's hooking up with who, or what's going down and whatnot. So we're introduced to the mayor, Mayor Hanninger of Valentine Bluff, a Canadian mining town. So once again, I guess this takes place in Canada. I don't know if we're introduced to anything that says this is in Canada. I thought it was somewhere in the U.S. I'm just reading off the wiki. It says reinstates their traditional Valentine's Day dance. So it's been 20 years since the last dance, but they believe, you know, in a curse, in a hex or whatever, that this guy could possibly come back, because he was pretty much like, his last words were like, you know, you guys can't throw any more Valentine's Day parties or else I'm going to come back, right? So the dance was stopped 20 years ago after an accident in which 2 supervisors left 5 miners in the mines to attend the dance. Because they forgot to check methane gas levels in the mining tunnels, there was an explosion that caused the mining tunnels to cave in and trap the miners. Harry Warden, the only survivor, resorted to cannibalism to survive and went insane from the ordeal. Now, you remember when they show that guy, Harry Warden, and he's over there like, he's eating like someone's leg, and then they show him, he's like screaming at the camera, he's like, what? Let me ask you. I don't think I've ever seen any movie where they resort to cannibalism and they're like they go insane. But I guess, you know, I don't know. I mean, I think he was there for weeks at a time, they said. Yeah.
Was he there? Yeah, like weeks. Yeah, weeks. And then I guess, but he was eating, you know, the leg and crazy at the same time. So he just starts wilding out at the camera. It was a very weird scene, though. It was cool. Creepy, but it was like, I don't know.
Because the only movie I remember where they deal with cannibalism for a long distance of time was that movie Alive. You remember that one? They used to always show that on TV too, when the guys, they crash in the mountains. I think it was like a soccer team or something. They crashed in the mountains and they had to resort to eating each other or the dead bodies, I guess. And
I remember that.
I mean, I you know what? I'm just having fun. I'm just joking, but I'm sure that in real instances like that, you probably would go crazy.
Probably so. Yeah, I guess the isolation itself, and then the psychological aspect of eating your friend to survive. You know what I'm saying? That'd be crazy. This was more like a ghoulish zombie. You know what I'm saying? That's what that felt like. Yeah, because I remember Alive. That was a TV movie, I believe. Yeah, and they had to eat their friends. I don't know. I remember seeing it on TV. Yeah,
yeah, me. Yeah, I just remember seeing it on TV, but I don't remember if it seemed like a big budget movie, so forgot who was all in that. But so, anyways, this guy Harry Warden, the next year he murders the 2 supervisors who left their posts the previous year. I kind of like that, the tie-in where he gets out and he goes and he ties up the loose ends of he gets his revenge, right? And then he ends up cutting out their hearts and places them in a candy box Valentine with a note from Harry warning the town never to hold the Valentine's Day dance ever again, or he will commit more killings. I forgot to mention that while they were being trapped in there, because the explosion, it kind of caved in the mine. The town was throwing their annual Valentine, so everybody's over there partying and stuff. By the way, this is the weakest deadest party I've ever seen. Like, it shows two people dancing, doing the jitterbug or something like that. Like
jitterbug. Yeah,
you try to make it look like it's super lit. Like 2 people are dancing. And then you got people talking in the corner. Like, that shit ain't lit. Like, what is happening? Someone spiked can someone spike the punch already or what? Turn this party out.
Yeah, throw some MC Hammer on or something.
Something, man. Yeah, so I'm assuming that since this movie does take place in the 80s, it happened 20 years prior, so we're somewhere in the 60s, man. Maybe even late 50s. I don't know. So Mayor Hanninger and the town's police chief, Jake Newby, receive an anonymous box of Valentine's chocolates containing a human heart and a note warning that the murders will begin if the dance proceeds, because we have a lady, I believe her name is Mabel, where she's instructed, by the mayor to, hey, you know what? Let's lift the curse. It's been 20 years. Let's have this dance, right? We got to get the town morale, the town of 3,000 people. Who cares? Yeah. Who cares, man? You trying to? Yeah. I mean, come on. Like, are you trying to bring in new people, like tourists, or what are you trying to do here? Because I don't know. I feel like if this, it depends how superstitious you are too. What would you do if you were a mayor like this, right? I'm not talking about like a mayor of like the guy from Jaws, because that's a whole different situation, right? Right. Yeah. Technically Harry Warden did escape. But if he told you don't throw another, dance or else I'm coming back, would you believe it? Or would you be like, I don't know, I could just take this guy out if he shows up again? I don't know. What would you do? What would you do with the mayor?
And that's weird. Well, since it's such a small town and then that tragedy happened around this holiday, everybody knows it from, from the generations down to the past. It's probably like a generation deep, 2 generations deep right now. Like,
oh, yeah.
I don't know if I'll throw the Valentine's Day dance. Can we just do St. Patrick's Day, son? You know what I'm saying? Can we do another holiday? Halloween, maybe? This ain't Haddonfield. You know what I'm saying? This not throw the Valentine's Day one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's too much. Yeah, there's too much evil lore on the Valentine's Day. At least in Valentine Bluff. You know what I mean? Like history. Yeah. Like, just get rid of that. Scrap that one day and then just celebrate all other holidays or whatever. And it's like, hey, does it still count if you throw a Valentine's Day dance on February 15th? Or like, how does that work?
Right. Yeah, right.
Is he going to come for you then? You know what I mean?
I'm late, but I'm here. Yeah.
He's like, y'all trying to trick me on the 15th, but y'all ain't going to get me.
Yeah, I don't know. I would stay away from the 14th though. If they send bloody hearts, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're excited too. They super excited about this too. Like, it's the, you know what I'm saying, the littest party of all time, son. You got to do it.
Valentine Bluff. There is nothing to do there. They get drunk like every day after work. That's what it seems like. They're just drinking every day. By the way, did you notice that in that beginning scene where they all rush to the bar, there's that guy that's behind the bartender, and he's basically like the Friday the 13th guy that you're all doomed. You're all doomed.
Yeah, I love it.
He's that guy telling the story about
Victor Crowley or whatever his name was.
Andrew Warden, I think it was.
Andrew Warden.
Yeah, and then
have that guy.
Yeah, and they're like, man, shut your old ass up. You're scaring the women, type of shit.
But they got to have that guy.
They have
this
to.
Is right after Friday the 13th, right? You know, they banking off that holiday, Valentine's Day, Friday 13th. You know?
Yep. So that evening, resident Mabel is murdered by a mining geared killer in the laundromat. So poor Miss Mabel, because I thought she was, she was a sweet old lady and stuff like that. I think even she was even kind of flirting a little bit with the, not the mayor, but the, I believe it was the police chief or something. She was kind of giving him the side eye, and he's like, hey.
She was.
What's going on with this gray haired lady over here, And, but she ends up getting got in the laundromat. I believe it's an off screen kill. But they do show the killer. I mean, what do you think about them showing the miner like right away? Does that kind of defeat the whole look of him? Because we're introduced to him like the first few minutes of the movie. Sometimes less is more, but I mean, what do you think about this? Even though they put him on the cover and stuff like that, I understand, but I mean, do you think they should have waited to kind of just show him full fledged? Like, remember how on Friday the 13th, the original, even though it's not Jason, they didn't show anything. It was just POV shots of people getting stabbed and stuff.
Yeah. That was cool.
To me, that's more scary. You don't know who's doing it.
That's the fact. I think that's what made Friday 13th scary. You didn't know who was doing it, but sometimes you can have a very cool character too. I think his aesthetic is great. With that mask and it's scary. Sort of like Michael Myers. We see Michael Myers pretty much the entire time, except at the beginning when he kills his sister there. Right, and then they reveal it. Oh, it's this little boy, and then he escapes. It's Michael Myers, but Michael Myers is still scary because they showing him stalking the whole entire movie. So and
they show him
movie too.
They show him driving, and either they're checking out, looking out the window, checking out the girls, and I guess you're right in that sense. It's just that sometimes showing so much, especially when they do off-screen kills. If you're going to show him, at least try to show as much on-screen kills. But I totally understand. You still have the MP AAA. I believe it's when did they start doing the rating system? Because
that's a good question,
man. Remember seeing those old school movies back in the day and it said PG and they used to show people getting their head cut off and shit? Like what the fuck?
yeah.
I forget when that was.
That. It started around this time, I would say, because or maybe later. 80s. Yeah, I don't know.
Because this is rated R, but I think when it comes to movies like this, I think they went back and they started rating older movies. But I don't know anything about that. So if you guys leave it in the comments if you guys know more. But Mabel is murdered. And her heart is pretty much, and by the way, I got to give it up to this guy's timing, man. Like he's ripping out hearts and he's throwing them in boxes and tying them up in bows and shit and delivering them instantaneously.
Yeah, instantaneously, without even being seen. Because I always wonder how Jason and everybody get those bodies up, but he's like fully gift wrapping hearts, leaving them there without no blood dripping or nothing. How's he do it?
Exactly.
How's he do it?
Yeah, he has to be supernatural in some of these movies. I swear to God, because there's been a couple of scenes where, I actually saw a whole YouTube video where they break down, is he supernatural or not? Because I believe it's in one or two movies, he'll pop up. He'll just pop up. Oh, especially in Jason Takes Manhattan. There's a scene where he throws, remember the teacher? He's chasing after the teacher. This is at the end of the movie. He's chasing after the teacher down the alleyway. And it shows Jason on the street. And this guy runs into a building. And then Jason is already up there and he throws him out the window. You remember that?
Yeah.
This is right before he throws him in the vat of acid or whatever the fuck that was, the liquid sludge or whatever.
Switch him around. Yeah.
Go back and watch that scene. There's no way a physical man could go up there. But at this point, we know Jason's like a fucking mutant at this time. So.
He's a zombie, yeah. Like in a video game, you can do that. Like it's 8 against Jason. You're Jason. You can just decide just to pop all up over the map.
Teleport,
teleport, and then you can shift and get them and stuff. So they kind of play with that lore really good. But yeah, he's definitely supernatural. Come on, he's disappearing. But they never really said it, or it's just
to me. I always
the audience.
Yeah, to me, I always thought he was a supernatural zombie or something. Come on, bro. He comes back to life. What, in part 6? Like he gets resurrected
with a lightning rod. He's like Frankenstein, Jason.
That's a zombie. That's pretty much a zombie. Yeah, Frankenstein. Exactly.
Yeah, that's what the director said. Sean Cunningham. He said, he based off Frankenstein.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that, man. But anyways, Officer Newby publicly reports that she died of a heart attack to prevent a panic. I forgot that part. He contacts the mental institution where Harry Warden was incarcerated. I said Andrew Warden. Harry Warden was incarcerated. Yeah, that's probably someone out there like, hey, that's my name. What the fuck?
Yeah, it sounds like somebody from a movie or something too, like Andrew Warden. Oh,
yeah,
Shawshank or something.
But they have no record of him. Hanninger and Newby cancel the dance, but the town's youngsters decide to hold their own party at the mine. A bartender warns them against it, but is killed by the mining while trying to set up a dummy to scare him. This is the stupidest fucking scene. This is when I started watching this yesterday, I fell asleep during this because I had I smacked 2 freaking hamburgers, bro, and I freaking passed out from the itis. I just freaking passed out. You have a big ass lunch and you just like slumped over on the couch. So
yeah, that's me too. I ate Mexican food and passed out watching.
Right?
I just fucking tacos
over there, fart on the couch and letting them rip and shit.
All of it.
But I woke up around this scene right here, like, because I missed like 10 minutes of right before the scene. But yeah, this guy's trying to set up a dummy to scare him, and I was like, I know this setup. Like, he kept closing the door or whatever, and then kept popping out when he opened it up, and then the real miner stabbed him in the stomach. I thought that was pretty funny. Also, this miner.
Is before. Oh, I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, yeah. This is all before, but I was gonna say, this miner loves to set up the bodies, right? Just like Jason does too. Going back to Jason, where he hangs up, strategically. Even Michael Myers did this in the first freaking movie. Remember, he was setting up everybody on the bed and all in that room and stuff. So
yep.
But yeah, man.
Yeah, he's the biggest prankster. Yeah, it was this right before the scene, because I want to bring this up with this horrible, when the dude was playing around, he had the horrible fake blood. It looked like straight up like paint you get from.
He put it on his head?
Yeah, he put it on his head. It looked like straight up like some Warbark paint or something. Like what?
Oh yeah, that's when he tried to scare Mabel. Yeah.
It was like,
try to scare crazy. Mabel. Yeah, and that's when that's actually when they received the first heart in the heart delivery. Whatever.
It reminded me of the Dawn of the Dead blood. And you got it right behind you. The original, the 78. Remember how crazy that blood used to look?
That was straight paint. Yeah, that was straight paint. That should look like almost like neon red, like neon. What are you doing, Tom Savini?
Yeah, Tom Savini. Yeah, he didn't have the formula yet. He ended up getting it from Rick Baker or something like that.
Okay, yeah, he must have been still working his craft out because, you look at it now, especially since it's been remastered in 4K. You're just like, what is this? What is this stuff? I still love that movie to death. Like, even though
I love that movie. That one used to scare me. That's one that actually used to scare me. I don't know why. It just used to scare me, bro.
The third act of that movie is very scary. When they all start taking over with the bikers, to me, that's one of the best scenes in Zombie. And I understand, like, because recently they just remastered, which I heard is a great transfer. I don't have it yet, but the Dawn of the Dead, the Zack Snyder, is that 2003 or 2004?
I think you're close. Yeah, somewhere around there.
You want to talk about best remakes? Holy shit, that movie's fantastic. But I think a lot of people go to that one. They're like, "Oh, this is better than the original." I mean, it is, but you have to look at it because the pacing's better, the action is better. They have more money behind it, right? This is 78, right? 78.
78. That one feels more real to me, though. The 78 one. I like that.
Yeah, because I don't know about you, but I'm a fan of the slow moving zombies. To me, that's more traditional. Of them being brain dead. If you're a running zombie, you ain't a zombie. There's like a parasite or something in your brain, or it's a freaking what was it? A Resident Evil T1 virus or something like that?
Yeah. T1 virus. Or something.
That's an infection, but that's a little different to me than an actual brain rotting zombie. I don't know. That's just different.
I feel you.
Yeah, but it's funny because. That's contradictory for me to say because I love Return of the Living Dead and that one has running zombies. So it's like
they're like people.
Yeah,
if you call it the paramedics, send more paramedics.
And you remember, Tarman, man, the legendary Tarman.
I love Tarman. Yeah, he's around here somewhere. I love that guy.
But you notice in the hordes, and even in the Dawn of the Dead, the 1978, if you notice the large groups of them by the end of that movie, half of them don't even have makeup on their face.
Yeah, that makeup is pretty bad. You know, Tom Savini is a master, but that makeup would look crazy nowadays. Now you look at it, they like greenish blue, just paint on their face, and some of them don't even have it. But like,
they ran out of money.
His factor was insane. Yeah. Yeah, they have anybody. So yeah, that's just Tom Savini just doing shit, winging it and shit. But like, you know what I'm saying? He did a great job with the gore though. Like that scratchy skin is what sold that too. So like, yeah,
absolutely. Mm-hmm. So back to my Bloody Valentine. So at the party, the miner brutally kills Dave. His heart is subsequently found boiling in a pot of hot dogs. So remember that guy that gets his face slammed in the hot dog? By the way, this is like the third guy not to react from getting like killed. I forgot to mention, when they first show the heart from the mayor, remember he's unwrapping it? He goes, "Oh, I got a secret admirer." And he's unwrapping it in the car. When it shows the heart, he just goes like this. Oh, God. Oh, God, this is a human heart in your lap.
Like he had a hair in his soup. Oh, God. Like it was an inconvenience to him. Shit.
Even when the cop looks over at it, the cop don't even trip. Like he's not even tripping off of it. Like this is another year, another heart.
Yeah, another year, another heart. God, it must be close to the 14th. Shit.
Right.
Yo, we gotta talk about that hot dog water kill, yo. I see that today. Like I don't think I ever seen somebody get killed by hot dog water.
Bro, so that did, you know what that reminded me? That scene reminded me, but it was, this one was terribly executed compared to the other one I'm thinking of. Sleepaway Camp, when that guy, he's a chef, I guess, or whatever. He works in the kitchen. He's a pervert, by the way. He's trying to hit on the little girl or whatever. He's a super pervert. He's a grown ass man, and they throw him in the pot. By the way, are we supposed to believe that the girl, what's the girl's name in Sleepaway Camp? Angela?
Angela, yeah.
Yeah. We're to believe that a little girl, Angela, can pick up this, that big guy was like 250.
Yeah, come on, bro. Yeah, Angela was little and skinny. Yeah, she was like real frail, bro.
Yeah. Another Friday the 13th style movie, if you guys haven't seen it, all POV shots for the most part. But I love that movie, though. Sleepaway Camp is amazing.
Speaking of P, yeah, Sleepaway Camp. Got a big P in it.
Oh, God.
That scared me, too, as a kid. I'd never seen nothing like that before. I was like,
you want to talk about, final frames that really scared the shit out of me. And then it just ends like that. The credits just show up and then you're just like, what the fuck was that?
Yo, I was watching that with my grandmother, yo.
Oh, my God. Are you kidding me?
And I just look at her. She was like, oh, yeah, well.
Did she? Has she already seen it or no?
Oh, yeah, she had seen it before. No, we had probably rented it. We were both watching it at the same time. But like I said, my grandma, she was a huge horror fan. So it's like, you're not supposed to be watching it. She encouraged me, like, yeah, make sure you get these 3 horror movies and put them on this tape. And we watch them all the time together.
That's awesome, man.
But that would freak us out a little bit. It's like, oh, well, yeah.
I thought she had already seen it. And she's like, watch, I'm about to freak him out right here. That would have been crazy.
Definitely freaked out.
Yeah. So shortly after, let's talk about that hot dog kill though. So the hot dog kill. By the way, for some reason, this kid, I guess his name is Dave in the movie. A lot of Daves in these movies recently, but Dave, he for some reason when the cops looks at him, the cop doesn't like him. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
The cop's like, I'm keeping an eye on you, but they never explain why. Like. But he had I remember he had a mustache, and then when they're at the party, he shaved the mustache, and then his buddy was like, "Oh, I seen you shave the stash," and then he goes, "Yeah, I'm trying to keep the newbie off my back." What the fuck is I don't understand did the mustache make him look gangster or something? I don't get it.
Yeah.
But the cop just had a vendetta against him, he had like some kind of weirdness.
He didn't like that stash, bro.
Yeah, I don't think we try to look older than what you are. What are you doing over here, kid? I don't know, but it was really weird. And
I agree.
Some of these kids look way too young to be drinking as it is, and then some of them too look too old to be with some of the girls that they're with. But
me too. I'm like, man, this dude look like he's about 38 years old, son. This girl looked like she's like, 14. What's going on here? They always have beer in their hands too. Yeah.
For real. So he goes in the kitchen and I guess he's fishing for some hot dogs because he just goes in there and he starts like messing with the hot dogs or whatever in the boiling pot, and then he gets his face slammed in there. Once again, no reaction. He doesn't say anything. Wouldn't you say something if you're getting your face melted off, bro?
Yeah, like, oh, he just took it. Like this can't kill him. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like a little pot of hot dog water. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It might taste weird, but
by the way, they never portray, if you're in a situation like this in real life, if you're getting your head slammed in a pot, right? Wouldn't your reaction to be like just move the pot out the way, or try to do whatever you can? You wouldn't just be like,
your probably immediate reaction would be to go back. You know what I'm saying?
Like push back or something. Yeah, you could use
push back or to the side or push the pot down.
Yeah, they never portray that as because they want an easy kill or whatever. I get it. I totally get it. But I just thought that was funny.
Easy kill.
Yeah, I just thought it was funny he didn't react. So shortly after, Sylvia is impaled on a shower head by the miner. So now we're getting all of our kills, right? So when the others realize that Dave and Sylvia have been murdered, they contact authorities, but several of the partygoers have already decided to enter the mines for fun. So this is where we get the big dude that goes in there and he's like, "Hey, we partying," and then everybody kind of goes off and does their own thing or whatever, hooks up with whoever. So Newbie rushes into the mine with police to rescue them. The miner impales a large drill into Mike and Harriet and shoots a nail gun into Hollis's head. I believe that was Hollis, the big dude with the glasses. Okay. I had forgotten about that kill with the nail gun. That's pretty crazy because did you notice that he kept moving? He kept like walking.
Yeah. Is that the one that had the laser on it too? Like I seen a red dot. I didn't know.
I didn't notice the red dot.
It's a nail gun. You said it's a nail gun. I thought it was an actual gun he had.
Like, it kind of had it almost had like a square head on it, but it had like a trigger, and he just pressed it up to his head and went phew, and you just heard like a noise, like air shooting out, and then he kind of fell back, but he walked back to his group with a nail in his head. God damn.
I guess that nail gun didn't have a compressor on it or something, you know?
Oh, yeah, so for sure. It's like before the compressor, before the 21 Savage version. I got to get that 21 edition.
Oh, yeah, that, you know what I'm saying? It'll do the job better. He did walk back to his friends with a nail in his head, though. Like, that was a weird shot, bro.
He made
a lot of weird things in this movie, too. That was like, I'm questioning.
Yeah, by that point, it was just kind of like a kill fest. Like as far as I'm gonna be honest too. The third act, when they start entering the mine, it got a little slow. It got a little boring for me. Yeah. But I think the ultimate payoff of who the miner is and the explanation was kind of a like whoa. Like I actually woke up from the movie like from falling asleep. But the remaining four try to climb to the top of the ladder, but discover a dead, beheaded Howard. So it says, while finding their way out, Axel drowns and Patty is killed by the miner. The miner chases TJ and Sarah and a fight ensues. The miner is revealed to be Axel, who faked his demise. So Axel was the guy they had talked about that his dad was the one that got killed by the original. Once again, I got to go. It was Howard, right? Harry Warden. I keep giving him different names.
Yeah, Harry
Warden. And it's to be revealed that Harry Warden died 5 years ago. But they don't know that until they called the facility that he was at or whatever, the institution. So once that's revealed, we find out that Axel, who was the son of the guy that Warden killed, comes back basically for revenge, almost like in a, I don't want to say like a Friday the 13th Part 5 version, where the dad ends up, remember, he comes back as a copycat killer, but it's similar. It is a little similar. Now, what did you think about that reveal?
I was confused a little bit at first, and I had to go back and watch it. And I thought that reveal for 1981 was a pretty,
for back
pretty
then,
decent reveal. Yeah. For back then, and that kind of hasn't been done really up until that point. You know what I'm saying? So you got to get respect for that. Now we see it. Now you're like, we got so much, like you said, Friday 13th with Rory and things like that. But I thought that was a nice little twist to the movie that from that third act that was born. It seemed like they was climbing that ladder for like 30 minutes. But
for real.
But yeah. I woke up at that point and was like, oh, that was kind of cool. I liked it.
Yeah. So they watch as Axel frees himself from the debris, by the way, because everything fell down, kind of collapsed in. And after we reveal it's Axel we see a flashback, by the way. That's how it's revealed that his father was killed by the original miner. So he just continues, with the curse or whatever, but in the same outfit. Yeah. So it says they watch as Axel frees himself because the cops are after him. They're trying to get him from the debris by amputating his trapped arm. So remember, he crawls out and he's like, and he's over there, the arm's ripped off and shit. And I'm like, at this point, I'm like, wait, what the fuck is this? Like, he runs deeper into the mine, shouting threats that he and Harry Warden will return and murder everyone in this town. So he's already lost it. Yeah. Like, the Harry Warden is in the brain, like it's his altar, Joker style, and mumbling about Sarah being his bloody Valentine. So
that was creepy.
Yeah, it seems to be
weird.
He's almost like saying it like in a singing song type of deal. Very creepy. Like, you're my bloody Valentine. Yeah.
I'll get you, my pretties. And a little dog, too. That's what kind of...
Right? That's exactly what it was. So it says, it seems to be implied that Axel's words are just words of insanity and blood loss. But it's also...
He's crazy!
Yeah. It's also implied that he's dying from. The film ends with Axel laughing manically as a ballad for Harry Warden plays over the film's credits. And there we go. My Bloody Valentine. It's a short one, only 90 minutes or 93 minutes if you're watching the unrated. I had a good time with it because I think we had talked about it. When they make these horror movies 2 hours, it's like, dude, too much. Too much. Hour and 30 is perfect for a horror movie. So
I agree.
Bloody Valentine. What did you think? 1981, the original.
Yeah, the original. Like I said, I forgot a lot of stuff there, and I forgot the crazy 80s shenanigans. How they used to really this would hammed it up, boy. Whoo, did they ham it up? And some of the acting was suspect, to say to say the least. Some of the acting was suspect, but overall, I think Harry Warden's costume was creepy as hell. You know what I'm saying? With the miner, that's a dope look. The aesthetic of his look, it's just kind of scary. Him with that big ass pickaxe when you see him. A lot of the kills they did do for cheap. They will imply somebody going on a hook and cut away the cheap hot dog water kill. You know what I'm saying? It was like, that's ridiculous. That was probably
part of the craft service, like with the you know what I'm saying? They're like, hey, don't ruin those hot dogs too much. So we're serving that for lunch for everybody.
Yeah. I got an idea for these hot dogs. It saved me 4. Right? but overall, man, it's a good horror movie. Especially for Valentine's Day. You want to check out a good little slasher. It's considered to many be one of the classics. If I was to rate it, I give it a 3.4 out of 5. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Check it out.
Yeah, there's something about it. I'm gonna say a little higher. I'll probably give it a 4 out of 5 actually, because nice. Even though they don't show much, I have a soft spot for like horror movies like back in the early 80s that kind of like came they were riding the wave of like masked slasher movies, right? But it's not oversaturated like it is now. It knows exactly what it is. It had some cool little backstory to it. You think it's that Warden guy. It's not. There's a little bit of twist. And it kind of leaves off on a cliffhanger to a possible sequel, which we never got, right?
No, he never took off like that. My Bloody Valentine it came out right in the, the midst of the slashers, but this one never took off like that. It never warranted a sequel.
Yeah, they did something that I haven't seen too many of. I mean, they did a Valentine-themed horror movie, and I thought that was very, very cool. I mean, it was released February 11, 1981, so Valentine's Day weekend. I mean, that's very, very cool marketing with everything to kind of tie it off with the heart, delivering stuff. I liked all that aspect. So even though I would have liked to see more kills, I was fine with the kills that we got. So that's what I'm saying, I would definitely rewatch this again. I mean, I did rewatch this again, but I don't have it in my collection, but if I found it for cheap, I'd add it to my collection. Why not?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. I respect that. Yeah. That's one thing I did like too. I thought that was very creative too, like how he was putting the hearts into the Valentine Day boxes. That was cool.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
They had a lot of good ideas, you know what I'm saying, for a little slasher movie. So yeah.
Not bad, man. So what do you think the budget on something like this was before we get on to how much it made?
Okay. I'm gonna say under $1 million. I'm gonna say.
It was released by Paramount.
Okay. Give me 500,000.
Okay, you think that cheap, huh? Okay, so it was actually 2.3 mil.
Oh wow! Okay, damn.
And I think I'm with you on that number, but once I saw that it was a Paramount movie, I was like, okay, they probably gave them more.
Yeah, Paramount.
So yeah, right. 2.3. How much do you think they made at the box office?
500,000. No, I'm just kidding.
A little higher.
2.5 million. I would say they would have got their money back with 3 million. I'm guessing.
Okay, so pretty close. 5.6.
Okay, 5.6. They made their money back. That's warranted a sequel right there. They made a couple million.
Is it though? I mean, wouldn't you want to? Yeah, I mean, because if you break even, if you make your money back, that's fine. But I think ultimately they want to make double. With the marketing. I don't know if that's all like with marketing including. Yeah.
No. Like if the budget was that don't include marketing, so they might have just broke even and then cut ties with that movie. That's what I'm thinking. Like Friday 13th was made for about 250,000. So that's why I was guessing around that guys. But that one ended up, making bank.
Yeah.
Like Megan or something. And then they immediately went into the sequel.
That's a good.
One was like, oh.
That's a good tie into this trivia right here. It says this profit amounted to less than 1/3 of Paramount's Friday the 13th release the year before. So it only made a third. Yeah. So it looks like Friday the 13th made about 10, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Why do you think that? You know what I'm saying? They're very similar, in terms of slashers. Why do you think Friday the 13th, the first one,
I think one, because of the Valentine setting, like at least with Friday the 13th, we know it's like an unlucky number, right? So you're already thinking that it's an evil date, right? Yeah. Valentine's is very niche as far as like not everybody does that per year, right? Also, the setting of a mining community, it's not really
attractive.
It's not relatable whatsoever. Like, how many miners are there in the country? Like, you can't I totally understand what this miner is going through. You know what I'm saying? It's
that damn methane gas in them tunnels again.
Yeah. But I mean, if you put a cabin in the woods type of setting, everyone's been in a cabin in the woods. I mean, especially for back then, it's a creep. You're creating more of a creepy scenario, I think. Even though it is a group of teenagers, so to speak, or 20-some-year-olds. It's the setting, I think it is,
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Let's see. What do we have as far as, let me go to trivia really quick. I wanted to, because there's a lot of reception on it. But maybe if you guys know the reception on this one, leave it in the comments down below if you guys are watching. But trivia. Okay. Let's get into this. So in an interview with TerrorTrap.com, director George Mihalka said that the shooting location at Sydney Mines in Nova Scotia was chosen because of its rustic atmospheric appearance. However, when the locals found out about this movie, I actually remember hearing about this. When the locals found out that a movie was to be shot, that they decided to spend $50,000 to have a mine painted and cleaned. This, of course, diminished the reason that the production wanted the location to begin with. So when the town heard about this, they spent money to have the mine cleaned. Why the fuck would you want a clean mine?
I don't know. Yeah, that's weird. Only thing I can think of is maybe because it might have been dangerous, like real methane gas down there or something. I don't know why. I don't want to spick and span, polished walls mine. You know what I'm saying? You can't see shit down there anyway. Why would you want? But
imagine the town having a town meeting. All right, guys, Paramount's coming to town. Let's clean this place up. It's gonna cost us $50,000. So guess what the director did, because he was upset when this happened. He said he had to spend $75,000 of the film's budget to return it back to its original state. Bro, 75.
That's ridiculous.
Pay me. I'll throw some dirt around. What the fuck? Pay me 75 grand. I'll do that.
What? How's that 75,000 work? Like, turn it back how it was. Fuck it back up. You know what I'm saying? Then this ain't going to work. You know what I'm saying? Like, get in there, and make it more dirty. Like, how can you even clean a mine? That'll make a lot of sense.
Now, this is another reason why I do enjoy this movie. I gave it a higher rating than I think most would. So the film was shot in authentic mines. I think that's cool. When you can go down there, when you can get actors down there in a dangerous situation, that adds a little bit more to me than other movies, I guess. Especially when you don't use stunt doubles and all that shit, you know?
Facts,
So it says they were shot in authentic mines, which were often as much as 900 feet underground.
Oh, wow, dude. Oh, they was really about that life then.
They were in it, man. Only certain lighting devices could be used in the mines because of the potential danger of methane explosions.
Damn, I didn't know that, dude.
So imagine being an actor.
Pay me more.
Imagine being an actor on the set, man.
Yeah. That's crazy.
According to the makeup effects artist Thomas R. Berman, one of his gory creations was realistic enough that director George Mihalka threw up at the sight of it.
Oh,
I wonder which one. Probably the decapitated head or something.
The hot dog water. He's like, son, is that hot dog water?
Yeah. He's like, what you got over there in that pot right there?
That hot dog water, my only weakness.
Jesus, that's fucking funny. All right, let's see.
I don't know which one wanted, but like the cannibal one was kind of wild. The heart too. Some of the hearts look real. It looked real, like real hearts. So
the hearts are pretty good. They were well, you know, they were dripping blood too out of the thing. I really like that when they can go the extra mile and have like blood dripping out and stuff, and you know, make it a little more realistic.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it looked good.
Yeah, so bringing it back full circle, man, because just a couple episodes ago we talked about From Dusk Till Dawn with Quentin Tarantino. So Quentin Tarantino has named My Bloody Valentine as his favorite all-time slasher movie. What the fuck?
Damn. Word. What
do you think?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know about that.
I don't agree with that, but that's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know if Quentin was. I mean, you know, he supposedly watched every movie that came into that video store he was at, so maybe he watched a lot of them. But I got to assume that he hasn't seen all of them, the slasher movies at least. Like maybe he avoided just horror movies, but I could be totally wrong because I think he actually really does like. I've heard him like cite what do they call it? Giallo films, or like the Italian horror movies.
Yeah, Argentos and all that stuff.
Yeah. So
yeah.
So maybe he's seen a lot, but I mean, to say that this is your all-time favorite slasher to me assumes that you haven't even seen all the slasher movies out there.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know about that one. Like even the Italian one, like say, like Dress to Kill is kind of a slasher one. That one's crazy, bro. It's a lot, you know. And then we got our Americans ones. You know, our bread and butter is Friday 13th and Halloween.
Texas Chainsaw, even Texas Chainsaw.
Hell, Texas Chainsaw is better than this movie for sure.
Absolutely.
You know, not to diminish on this movie, to shit on this movie or whatever, but like you know,
yeah.
Texas Chainsaw was a movie like you feel like you didn't supposed to be watching it. You know, like a snuff film almost.
It was too real. It too grit. Like the way they filmed it on that film. I think it was 35 millimeter. I could be wrong, but it was just too damn gritty and raw to like. It looked like they just found the footage and put it together. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And you know what's about Texas Chainsaw Massacre? It's not a lot of blood. It's no blood splatter really much at all in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's all implied. When he's taking her and throwing her on the hook, it's just getting closer and closer to the hook. And then they throw it, then they cut it back to her. And she's like, but you'll never see one drop of blood.
Exactly.
But it was fucking effective.
Yeah, even when they were killing, I believe they were killing her boyfriend in front of her, like he had him on the table and he like came down with the chainsaw. They just zoomed into her face. They didn't even show like the cut. But your brain kind of seeing the chainsaw and hearing the noise and hearing the screams, you just put it in your mind. That's why everyone went crazy when Hitchcock showed the knife stabbing in Psycho like this. And you weren't seeing anything except for and it was black and white. It was in black and white, but the blood
Hershey syrup,
inside the tub or whatever. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. People were losing their minds in the theater because they thought that they were seeing stabbing, but their mind was tricking them that this was happening. You know, I think it's very effective.
Yeah, it was genius. That was genius. A great pull with Psycho there. Yeah, because you show the knife going down. You'll never see it going into the skin. It's just like kind of goes down, and they show her they show her body, you know what I'm saying? But it's very intimate, you know, because it's a shower and you're totally vulnerable. But you just play with your mind. So like, great call on it, Psycho.
Oh yeah. So one of the makeup designers once shipped a dummy corpse to the set in a coffin, which caused much alarm when it arrived at the Canadian customs. Because you know they're going through that and they're like, "This is a fucking dead body."
Jim, can you come over here, please, and bring the dogs? We got a situation here. It's I never seen on like this on the job for 13 years. I'm gonna need to take a break.
For real.
You got some hot dog water.
You got some hot dog. I think I need a smoke break. And next up, it says the MPAA cut more than 5 minutes of the film before it came out, mostly because the movie was released shortly after John Lennon died, and there was a major backlash against violent movies. Isn't that crazy that when something, you know, in real life will happen where it triggers a backlash of them to say, all right, guys, we need to chill out on violent movies right now. Like whether it's a school shooting or a war or something. Yes. Right?
Did something happen like that just recently with a movie? Something just happened like that.
You know what? I remember around remember a couple years ago, it was like back-to-back school shootings like every fucking week. Mm-hmm. So I remember movies that were in production where they had school shootings, but it was like before all that was happening. Mm-hmm. And they were either told to cut it out or they had to delay the movie because of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
I forget which movies they were, but I remember, you know, hearing instances of that. Also,
Spider-Man, Twin Towers. You remember that? They had to take the Twin Towers.
Wow, you're my brain, man. I was going to go to that. No, I was going. So, do you remember? And maybe I'll throw it up on here. Maybe I can't because it's a little insensitive. But like, in the promo for Spider-Man 2, right? That was Spider-Man 2. Mm-hmm. Remember they showed him with the web in between the two towers.
Mm-hmm. Very cool shot.
Very amazing shot, and that was like used as a promo that was not included in the movie or any. It wasn't included in anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was just like an advertisement thing.
Yeah, I think it was like an advertisement thing. I don't remember it was a poster, but like after the you know, the Twin Towers things happened, that was gone. They had to scrap that. It was in the movie. They said they had the Twin Towers in the movie. They had to cut it out, right?
Rob, that's what I'm saying. I think that was supposed to be a scene in the movie that they cut out. But it did leak. Like if you look online, you could probably find it now. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's something that was just used for like a commercial or something, you know, in the beginning. But that's crazy, man. So right here, we'll end it with this because there's a lot of trivia. If you guys want to go over to IMDb, check out My Bloody Valentine 1981 trivia. The caption near the beginning states, I guess this is in the movie. I didn't see it. Actually, I did see that. Okay, so it says Thursday, February 12th, indicating that the dance will be on Saturday the 14th. That means Friday the 13th falls in between them. The Friday the 13th, 1980 series was released by Paramount, and the plot of My Bloody Valentine is similar to Friday the 13th, 1980 films.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, that's beautiful marketing, actually.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, because I was thinking about that too. Now, when you say it went through my head. Did he say Saturday the 14th? And I thought, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not thinking like Friday the 13th was the day before, because there's a movie called Saturday the 14th. You remember? Like
was there?
It's a dumb spoof movie or whatever. But yeah, that came into my mind. So yeah, Friday 13th. How clever. I like that. Too bad it didn't do as good as Friday 13th. You could have got more cool sequels, you know, from this franchise. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we'll end up on this one because this kind of has a tie into what I was talking about at the end of the film. So George Mihalka, who was the director, approached Paramount in 2001 with a synopsis for a sequel, but due to the poor box office records for the original film, they declined. So he was trying to make a sequel in 2001?
Oh, wow. In 2001? No, I didn't know that.
Way too long.
Then they made the remake
in like 2008. I think it was like 2008 or 2009.
Yeah, it was 2008. Yeah. I don't know.
Something like that. Wasn't that movie released in 3D?
It was. Wow. I remember seeing it. I remember seeing that one more than the old one. And it's pretty good. That one's pretty bloody too.
I wonder if that one did well, like as far as box office goes.
I'm checking out
3D. I do remember the poster.
2009.
2009.
That was 2009, and it made $100 million.
Did it say what the budget was?
Let me see.
I feel like a movie like that would probably have like a $12 to $15 million budget.
Let me see, production. Rated R, 3D. Opening weekend in May 24. Film gross.
It probably made its budget.
Yeah, it had to. Yeah, 100 million. I don't see how much it cost them to make it.
The 2009. Let me see. I've just type in budget over here. It says 14 million.
14 million. Well, wow. Well, yeah, they did good.
Yeah. So it was marketed My Bloody Valentine 3D. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Okay.
100 million is not bad. You know, they could have made a sequel of that.
And Lionsgate put that one out, man. That's right up of Lionsgate's alley, man. I'll tell you that from back in the day.
Yeah.
They're putting out all those damn movies.
Yeah, Lionsgate. Yeah.
That's wild, man. But yeah, that's My Bloody Valentine, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining us. This was fun, man. This was fun because I really wasn't planning on doing it, but I was like, let's see if we can cram it in. You know, a nice HBO Max classic horror movie or whatever. And
that transfer was clean on HBO Max, though. I was like, damn, this shit look clean, bro.
It really did. It really did. And a lot of the movies pretty dark too, because I mean, we're dealing with mines, we're dealing with a lot of night shots and stuff like that. But you know, had some parts that were scary. I wouldn't say that this movie is necessarily that scary, but I think if you have someone that is really scared of like either jump scares or like, you know, loud noises, they might find it scary. I don't know, like a first time viewer. But I think if you're a diehard horror fan and you haven't seen this, you might not get scared of it. Yeah, absolutely. But it's definitely, I think it's a good movie to watch if you haven't seen it and you're a horror fan, to just, you know, kind of immerse yourself in early 80s horror and kind of, you know, this is around the time like we had talked about, you know, Friday the 13th, of the Dawn of the Deads, of the Terror Train, of the Prom Night, of all that craziness that came out around this time. So yeah, it was an enjoyable movie. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And happy Valentine's to the people out there. Happy Valentine's Day or happy whatever day you're listening to, you know, after the fact or whatever. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining us on another episode, guys. Why Won't You Die? A horror movie podcast. Make sure to follow us on every streaming service down below if you guys can. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Stitcher, and wherever you guys can. Please leave a good review. Give us a 5-star if you guys can. It really does go a long way. If you guys are watching on YouTube, make sure to hit that big thumbs up. Consider subscribing today. Q, man, you've been watching Last of Us, man. I know. I saw you dropped a little good information about that. Wait, well, I guess we could say it. It's not too much of a spoiler, but we get a bloater, creature, and you said it was 500,000 to 500 racks, bro. 500 racks to make that costume. That costume costs 500 racks, bro. How much are they spending on these episodes then? I don't know. Well, I heard they were spending up to 10 million per episode. I might be wrong on that, but it's like, yeah, they got Game of Thrones budgets to make these episodes. So they're spending some dough on CG, practical, set design. You know what I'm saying? They're putting their money where their mouth is. HBO really believed in this property, which is exciting because you know a lot of times they don't give video game movies the love they deserve, and they decided. I mean, I think HBO was the number one. When it comes to quality content television, HBO was it, and they put their money where their mouth is, and you can see it. You know what I'm saying? In the production, in the story, and everything, they just care. You know, $500,000 for a costume, son. That costume looked amazing, though. That costume was amazing. That was a combination of CG and practical, though, right? Like there was, like when it came out like this, that was real. That was a real physical costume. And then when he like in the wide shot, he started tossing people down, like that's and running CG. And stuff. Yeah, running. Like when it's all of them, that's CG. But like when it's close up in the camera and slow mo, wow, that's real. That's that movie magic. Insane. And I actually looked it up after you had posted about the amount that it cost. I wanted to kind of just figure out more information about that suit. Do you want to guess how much that suit weighed? I know it took an hour to get on. Wade, I don't know. It looks heavy. 75 pounds. 85 pounds. Damn, I was off by 10. Yeah, but still, wow. Dude, whoever's in that, man, you want to talk about, you know, you feel sorry for the people that work at Chuck E. Cheese or whatever to give them those rat suits, but this shit looks heavy.
Yeah, they got to have a bladder thing so he can pee. You can't take that off. You know what I'm saying?
A little hole a little hole with like a a tube or something.
Penis,
I don't know.
Yeah, his penis probably actually showing because there's a bunch of little things you can't they probably mix it in so you can't.
You can't even tell. That's funny.
You can't even tell because there's a bunch of little fungus or whatever. But like I don't know.
That's funny.
85 pounds. Yeah,
that's insane.
Crazy. I'm loving the show though.
Oh yeah, the show's great. You guys can check out Q. I'll put all the information down below in the description if you guys are following on YouTube. So I'll put all Q reviews information down below as far as the socials go. If you guys want to check us out on Instagram, it's Why Won't You Die Podcast. Please follow us on there, guys. We're doing really well as far as, posting content on there. I'm seeing a lot of horror fans on there. So interacting with people on there is awesome, man. People are showing us some love. Yeah, on the podcast. They're really enjoying it. So yeah. Till the next one. Actually, the next one we can let people know. I would like to do the Evil Dead 2, man. I know you're ready.
I'll swallow your soul. Dead by dawn. Hell yeah. You had me at Evil Dead.
I know, man. I'm ready. I'm so ready because if you guys didn't know, last month we did the original Evil Dead and we're on our way. We're on the road to Evil Dead Rise, a movie that we both saw the trailer for when it dropped. And we were like, we're fucking pumped for this one.
Oh, bro. That's my most anticipated. I think that's still my most anticipated movie of this year.
Yeah, and it comes out in April 4/20, man.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very excited for that one. All right, guys. So thank you guys so much for joining us once again, and we are out. Peace.
I'm just warming up, you pathetic worm. Why won't you die? No!
Game over.